Alrighty, folks, we're going to hit 3 topics. 1, we are going to talk about a crash bro who has actually bought a home. 2, we are going to talk about the unique opportunity staring real estate investors in the face right now. And we're going to talk about a couple of events Jason has coming up. But folks, we've got to talk about Nick Gurley from Reventure Consulting. Jason, I don't know if you heard the news, but our boy bought a home. Nick Gurley is a homeowner.
The ultimate doomer. Hey, Mike. So I thought he said real estate prices were going to crash by 50%. Who knows? Maybe by 70%. Maybe they'll go down 100%. Yet he's buying a house. Good for him.
Yeah. So I want to read the quote again. Nick put this out on X. Just bought a property, $100K off of 2021 sale price. Move-in ready. The market is crashing in certain areas. Mega deals if you know where to look and how to negotiate. I agree with his last point there. And
where
I
did
do
you buy
think,
a property?
Oh, I did some research and it appears it's Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, so I really doubt Atlanta, Georgia is 100 grand off of the COVID era prices. I mean, there's certainly no data to back that up. But
yeah, I'm going to take the man at his word. Yeah. Saying he got 100K off, which
I mean that the number's like really fluffy. You know, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, right? We don't know if it's $1 million home or a, $300K home. We don't know
the price of the home, so correct. that percentage could vary. But the Absolutely. Atlanta market, by overall data, is higher than it was back then, not lower. Yeah. Okay.
True. Yeah, I think that's true.
Here's the thing: if he bought a house, I mean, every house at some point becomes a rehab project.
Sure.
Right. So who knows if he bought a property that was in great condition when it was sold in 2021, or who knows if it even sold then. Like, I don't know if that property, when he says 100 grand off, was there actually a sale?
That's what it says. I'm only going to take him at his word. 100K off of 2021 sale price.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, if that actually sold and it transferred, maybe the property got thrashed or something, right? Between then, I don't know. Maybe it got.
Yeah, I don't think we need to split hairs. Give the guy his flowers. He bought a home, 100K off 21, move in ready.
That's not a housewarming gift.
Yeah, that's not important to me. The important line was actually how we closed it. Yeah. Mega deals if you know where to look and how to negotiate. That is the message that I frankly agree with him. I agree that now is the time, especially with this fear of the war, right? There's this little window. We don't know how long it will be where buyers are afraid, sellers are afraid, banks are afraid, everybody's afraid. And this is the time to frankly write disrespectful offers. And I want to agree.
You know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid we might not get our rate cut.
Oh, we're not getting rate cut. The rate cut's over.
I mean, nothing. Wow. Powell's latest vibe is not friendly for rate cuts, which, have been expected. But, and the reason for, look, the Fed is trying to weigh the overall economy, the employment or unemployment rate, along with inflation. And with energy price spikes, energy's in the cost of everything. Okay. And oil is way up, but I think that's going to be pretty temporary because they will open the Strait of Hormuz. Certainly that's going to happen. And, I think those energy costs will come back down, but right now it is not looking good because there's some inflationary pressure with energy costs there for sure.
Yeah. I think a cut in 2026 isn't happening. And I'm on record.
At all?
No, it's not happening. The next move's up, not down.
Whoa. Oh, you're killing me, man.
Yeah. Well, again, as an investor, I mean, I would love rates to be 8%. Right? Let's just go back to 8%. Let's have all the buyers.
You're saying because you think it'll motivate sellers. Yeah. Right.
Well, I'm saying it's because demand will crater, and I love no competition and motivated sellers.
Yeah.
And 8% and higher mortgage rates give me both. No, less demand, less competition, and more choices.
Yeah. See, 1% in purchase price, 1% in rate is about 10% in purchase price. Okay. So correct. 1%, 10%, that's the trade in either direction. It is a little bit rough. It's not exact. Okay. But so if we have rates say they bump up by 1% or 100
Sure.
basis points, okay, then we got to have a 10% reduction in price to be equal, okay?
Or you just do less transactions.
Yeah, and as a buy and hold investor, with that being my philosophy, and it is yours too.
No question.
I like the lower rate better than the lower price. If the lower price would even happen, but
well, again, there's lots of people been talking about we had rates go up 400 basis points and prices are flat.
yeah,
So that certainly hasn't held. What happened is we had a transaction crash, and that's really annoying to the crash bros like Nick Gurley because they've been wrong forever. But we're gonna see if these rates. Because again, they're already up 50 basis points. I just did a cash out refi at 5.99. If I couldn't do that today, that's less than 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Right. Now it's 6.5.
Yeah.
And again, as somebody who is a buyer and hold guy, I would much rather do a deal at 8% than 5%. Why? Because I only write offers that cash flow day one. I only write offers that are great deals at 8%.
Well, and you're banking on the idea of refinancing later
at some point. Yes.
Yeah, and Michael, that's something we should discuss for a moment here. Okay, I've said this on my show many times over the years, but if you enter into a deal, okay, on anything in life, could be real estate, could be anything else, and the other party starts changing the deal. That's very bothersome, right? We have a name for those people. We call them weasels.
Retrade. Retrade.
Right?
Yeah.
If they don't keep their word and stick with the deal they agreed to, that's not good, right? But the great thing about income property or real estate in general, and I do distinguish between real estate and income property for obvious reasons. Hopefully those are obvious, and I don't need to go into that right now. We can renegotiate the deal forever.
Yep.
We can do that without being a weasel. What do I mean by that? Let's just bring that up for a minute. I mean, you can pay one price today. You can get one financing structure today. You can get one physical property with its certain characteristics and condition today, and you can change all of that later. Okay? You can get one type of tenant and one rental income today, and you can change that later. You can improve the property. You can refinance the property. You can change the deal indefinitely. The deal you agree to today is not the deal you are stuck with.
Yep.
But in anything else, you're pretty much stuck with that deal. If you buy Apple stock today, the price you paid is the deal you got. And if you sell it in 1 year or 5 years, it better be a higher price later than you paid today, because you don't have these multidimensional characteristics, and you don't have the characteristics of being able to renegotiate the deal all along the way. That's what the beauty. There are so many beautiful things about income property that just don't exist in other asset classes.
And that's the key. Again, I want people to realize we're in a very unique opportunity. I've been doing this for 25 years. And there's not many times where buyers and sellers are scared at the same time.
Yeah.
And right now, buyers and sellers are scared at the same time. And it's our job.
Yeah.
It's our job to take advantage of these moments.
Right.
And so, again, less competition, more motivated sellers. It's time to write disrespectful offers, Jason.
I want everybody to think back to the beginning of COVID. Okay. And I remember, I had multiple search parameters set up, on listing sites to feed me properties. And I just couldn't believe one property that I just missed. I mean, if the reporting was inaccurate, then okay, but this property, I was looking for a personal residence, and this property was listed for like 900 and something thousand. It was in Tampa, where I was kind of considering at the time, or it might have been St. Pete. And I saw it come through on the listing site, $242,000. And I thought,
Wow.
I must be misreading that.
Yeah, something happened wrong.
And I wasn't misreading it. I mean, unless they just reported like fake data or something, which really rarely happens. You know, that's very rare that they can even do that because they're using multiple data sources to pull that data in. But just remember, we all thought the world was ending. Okay.
No, motivated sellers will do stupid things.
Look, my business partner, Ken McElroy, he was publishing all kinds of doomer crash road videos.
He called a 50% crash coming. I remember. He had to take the video down.
He said, real estate is over for this year. Just write it off. And he said that probably in March, you know, so we had a lot of months to go of the year.
Yeah.
And what he admitted to me later, because he was obviously very wrong, okay, what he admitted later is he didn't appreciate the response of the government and the central bank. Remember, we are in a centrally planned economy, folks, and things do not happen in a vacuum. You cannot, and this is why things are hard to predict. You cannot just take market forces like supply and demand and come up with a conclusion, because, you know, supply and demand, those are, you know, that's obviously the huge part of it, but the central bank can relax the money supply. They can ease the money supply. And remember, they have multiple tools for this, not just interest rates. Interest rates are a big one, but, you know, you can have reserve requirements and, you know, QE and all kinds of, you know, that, remember the twist and all these complex things. They can go into the mortgage market. They can buy up mortgage-backed securities. The Fed is the biggest investor on planet Earth. Okay.
And that's where a lot of the doomers don't even hear themselves, right? They're talking about this crash, this, that, the other. And I'm like, guys, just play the next domino. Like, let's just say you're right for a second. What do you think the government does next? And they never think that far. And it's always the policy response, right? Do you really think the forces that be are going to let 2006 happen again, or 8 or 12 or whatever year you want to pick? The answer is no, of course not. It almost ruined the financial system. Yeah. So very, very cool.
Well, again, I love what you said, Michael, right there. That was a really good statement. Just play the next domino.
Exactly.
Right? Stop trying to predict this huge future, right? Just play the card you're dealt, like Voltaire said. You know, we cannot choose the cards life deals us, but we must choose how to play those cards in order to win the game. And I mean, everybody, here's another thing the Crash Bros do, is they constantly agonize about what real estate's going to do, as if that's in a vacuum. But what they don't say is, compared to what? Like, what else are you going to do? Okay, real estate might have its challenges from time to time, for sure. It's, you know, it's not perfect. Nothing is. But what else are you going to do? I mean, I remember I held a conference in 2008 or 9. I mean, we did it multiple times a year, but and I showed a chart. I got to find this chart that I showed, that income property was actually the best performing asset class in the entire world during that time. In one, you know, like I did a trailing 12 months analysis, and every stock market on earth had crashed.
Right.
Okay. Precious metals weren't doing very well, you know, because they don't give any yield, right? They don't give any tax benefits. Income property won the game by comparison. And it wasn't great. That was not a great, okay, but it was better than everything else. And there were cryptocurrencies back then, so
Well, it's really interesting to me. Again, we've got a Crash Bro, the king of Crash Bros, buying homes. We have this unique opportunity staring us in the face, and of course, you've got a couple of events coming up that are really going to help people, you know, move forward. So tell us what couple of events you got coming up.
Yeah. Well, one we've got none other than you, Michael Zuber, speaking at, and that's Empowered Investor Live, our annual conference. That's in Irvine, California, empoweredinvestorlive.com. Come and join us for that. You'll love it. It starts on Friday evening, goes all the way through Sunday at about 6 p.m. And right near John Wayne Airport, so super easy. No need to rent a car. There's free shuttle. You know, hotel's 5 minutes from there. It's super easy. And that's Empowered Investor Live, our conference. And then I've got my Super Yacht Mastermind group. And Dion, your friend in your community, is coming to this. Michael, nice. I wish you were coming.
Yes.
But yes. I do these occasionally. This is a business I created not to make money. I don't make money off of it. It's just to make memories.
Nice.
Make memories, not money, right? Because I got other businesses for making money. And that's mastermindyachtadventures.com. I charter a 160-foot super yacht in beautiful Croatia. It's stunning. This is the second time I've done this in Croatia. We've got room for about 28 to 30 people. Depends how the room's configure, you know. And it's a super yacht. It's a mastermind. We mastermind for about 2.5 hours a day, and then we just have fun the rest of the time. And people create lifelong friendships out of this. It's super luxury. There's a crew of 11 people. Everything is included on that yacht. High-speed Starlink internet, so you can do work. Yes, you can do work. All your meals, premium drinks, meals, gourmet, everything. House cleaner to clean your room every day. It's a super yacht. You know, it's a multi-million-dollar super yacht. So it's incredible. MastermindYachtAdventures.com for that one.
Jason, you're amazing, man. Looking forward to the event. It's in May, right? The one I'm speaking at. Yeah,
right around the corner. Yeah, Empowered Investor Live, our conference is in mid-May. And then the MastermindYachtAdventures.com, the mastermind is in June. So those are two great events for people.
Awesome, Jason. Take care of yourself. Have some fun.
All right. Happy investing.